Hi guys, Carl Mitchell here from the 10th Essex Living History Group. In today's short video, we're going to be looking at the common types of boots worn by the British soldier during the Great War. We're also going to be looking at puttees and how to wear them correctly and various ways of wearing them. This is the British Army B2 boot. This was the early boot that the Army used during the Great War. It was introduced in 1913 and is manufactured up until 1915. So this is the early war boot. It's made from 4 pieces of leather. We have the vamp all the way around. We have 2 uppers and we have the heel. Now the B2 boot is easily distinguishable by the way that the upper is sewn to the vamp. Okay, we just have the 2 pieces joined halfway down the boot and stitched together. Now, the only company who really make the replicas of the B2 boot are a company called Quartermaster Inspector in Belgium, and they cost €139. Here we have the later war boot. This is the British Army B5 boot. Again, it comes in 4 pieces of leather. We have the vamp, the 2 uppers, and the heel. Okay, these are a bit dirty because I haven't cleaned them since last time I wore them. Now these have a different construction to the earlier B2, and the earlier B2. The main difference is the way that the upper is sewn to the vamp. It's also, and hopefully you'll be able to see that, it's also riveted to give it a bit more strength. Now these are made by William Lennon Company in a place called Stony Middleton in Derbyshire, England. These are quite expensive. They cost £202.95. There are alternatives. Soldier of Fortune in Wales actually make a pair for about £100, but they're not as good. If you want the best, these are really the best you can get. Lennon's have been making boots since 1899, and then they actually manufactured the B5 boots during the Great War. So, ladder lacing the boots, okay? This is the way the British Army were taught to lace their boots during the Great War. We do not have crisscross laces, okay? During the Great War we have what we call ladder laces, okay? Just going horizontally across the boot from eyelet to eyelet. And the way we do that is we take our lace and we tie a little knot in one end. We then take the other end of the lace and thread it through the inside eyelet at the bottom. Put it nice and tight. Now the knot there, because it's knotted, obviously it won't go through the eyelet, so it'll hold there. We then take the lace across the top of the boot and come in through the top of the opposite hole, pulling like so. So now you can see we have it going across like that. We then go inside and through, across from the above and in through the hole. Pull it tight, peel the upper back, and from the inside place the lace through the hole and continue until the boot is fully laced. Now, once you've got it through the top eyelet, one of the ways the soldiers were taught to do up their boots, I'll just get a little bit closer, is once the boot is on the foot, pull the laces tight and then pull the lace around the back of the boot, going anti-clockwise, and when you get to the front, just tuck it under the lace that's going around the back, like so, and pull. Then wrap it back on itself, like so, and then when you get to near the end, just tuck it under the laces going around the boot, pull tight. So now we're going to look at the puttee. The puttee is a piece of material that wraps around the leg, protecting from the ankle to the lower knee. They're normally 8 to 9 feet long and 4 inches wide. Here we have an other ranks soldier's puttee. As you can see, it's just made from quite coarsely woven wool, whereas the officers, this example was made by a company called Fox, because they buy their own uniform and equipment, it's a finer weave on the wool, and these ones even have a little tag there saying L and R for left and right, depending on which leg it is for. Now, the way the infantry wear their puttee is they wear it from their ankle up to their knee. So I'm going to demonstrate that, hopefully, so you can see how that works. Pull the trouser up slightly. I take my puttee, I place about 4 or 5 eyelets up the boot, and I hold it around the back of my ankle and bring it in an anti-clockwise rotation around my ankle. Now, it's important on your left leg that you go anti-clockwise, and on your right leg you go clockwise, because if you don't, you're not putting them on correctly. I carry on wrapping it up my leg with a gap of about 1.5 inches as it spirals up my leg. Doesn't matter if you go a little bit over. And I wrap it around. Try not to wrap it too tightly, but I don't want to wrap it too loosely because else it will fall down. Now when I finish, I need the top of the puttee to be above my calf. Okay, if it isn't and the puttee is sitting too low, it will naturally fall down as soon as you walk off. As I'm wrapping it around my leg, what I'm trying to not do is create stepping when the material is too loose, and it creates gaps which I can fit my finger through. I'm trying not to do this. Now, once we get towards the knee, we have a tie. Okay, I'm just going to pull that out. We have a tie. If you feel just above your shin, you'll feel a natural hollow in your leg. This is roughly where you want that tie to sit. And if it does, again, it will stop the puttee falling down your leg. Wrap it around a few times, and once we get near the end, all we do is tuck it under itself, pull it through, square it off nicely, tuck it under itself a few times, and then take the loose part of the tie and tuck it into the puttee, and then we just blouse our trousers over the top like so. Now, if you portray a cavalryman, or maybe a member of the Royal Artillery, or a member of the Army Service Corps, or any soldier who spends a lot of their time behind the lines riding on horses, you will wear your puttees a different way, okay? The infantry wrap their puttees from the ankle to the knee. Other arms, such as the cavalry, some of the Royal Artillery, Army Service Corps drivers, etc., wrap them from the knee to the ankle. That's done in exactly the same way, but going the other way. So I start just below my knee, I take my material and I hold it behind my leg, and I wrap the puttee around my leg. Again, I'm going anti-clockwise. So this time, trying to keep the material quite tight, but not so tight that you cut off the circulation. What you can end up with is something called putty blisters, which are not particularly nice and they're itchy if you do it too tightly. So this time we wrap it around the leg like so, ending up at the ankle. Okay, that really should be round here, but for the demonstration it hardly matters. And then take our tie, wrap it around the ankle, and then tie it off just like before finding a bit, loosening the tyre slightly, putting it through and under on itself. And tucking the tie out the way so it's not going to be in the way, like so. Now, as I said earlier, reproduction puttees, unfortunately, are just not fit to standard, okay? They're not made from the same material, they have no stretch in them, or none that I've ever seen, which means they just don't conform to the leg properly, because puttees need to conform to your leg. Once you wear them a few times, they will only wrap around that leg. For example, if you're a left putty, you keep using that all the time, it will naturally form to that side. Now, one way of getting around this is to buy the World War II up until the 1980s British Army short puttees, okay? Because in the Great War they're about 9 feet long and they're about 4 foot long by World War II. Now, if you buy 3 pairs of puttees, you can actually sew them together to make your 9 foot long puttees. And because they're made from the right material, they have that natural stretch, that flexibility, that give in the material, they will conform a lot better and look a lot better as well. And once worn, it's hard to see where they're stitched together. If, however, you've only got reproduction puttees or badly fitting originals, there is one last trick you can do to prevent that stepping, that flapping of material as they come up the leg. And what you can do is the crosshatch or the herringbone method. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to lift my trouser leg, as I would anyway, and now, I'll just get in the right place, I'm going to start off wrapping my puttee. Now I want you to imagine this, I'm getting that step effect. So as I wrap it around the leg, what I need to do to take out that step, I need to place my hand on the side of my leg, loosen off this side and flip it over. And then wrap it back around the back of my leg, bring it to the front and flip it, loosen it. It takes a little bit of practice, and flip it over. Bring it around the back of my leg. I'm going to do this one more time. Oh. Flip it over like so. And then I'm just going to carry on as normal. What this would do is that flipping of the puttee will actually take up the slack and the looseness of the puttee. I then tie it off as normal. I'm going to rush this a little bit. This is actually my officer's puttee because it actually shows the folds a little bit better. Tuck the tie under the tie as they've been wrapped around my leg. Do that a few times to hold it in place, pull it tight and tuck it into the top of the puttee like so. Blouse it over, and now you should be able to see that criss-cross pattern. Okay, like so. So a normal infantry puttee, the criss-cross or herringbone method to take up the slack. So there we have it. The 2 types of boots most commonly worn by the British soldier during the Great War, and also how to wear your puttees correctly so they don't fall down. Please leave any comments in the box below, and if you so wish, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.